Hi, ladies. All right. Hi, ladies. This is Nicole Elissa, love coach for women who desire to and who are committed and willing to attract and have the best relationship ever. I help women do this by helping them be confident in their own skin, embodying their femininity so that they can attract a really powerful, loving, caring man, the man that is the right fit for them, and how to cultivate and create the type of relationship where it's harmony, right? Where you two are at peace, you're passionate for each other, and you are not dealing with the constant stressors that a lot of people indicate or say that are normal in relationships. So I don't believe in that. I really do believe in creating your own destiny, your own life. And when you are in that energy of being fully responsible and clear of your power, you can attract absolutely anything, and you don't have to pay attention to what other people say or think that is normal in relationships. So it is a new year, and I wanted to create the first training of the year to really support you in letting yourself, have love. Many of you have responded to the email that I shared, where I was saying, when a new year, you have new awarenesses, new clarity of what's important to you and how important love is for you. So if you know me, or if you don't, it's best if I just introduce myself. I am all about passion and being clear about what you want and loving yourself enough to have it. For those of you who don't know my story, my parents, they lived together, but they weren't together. And from there, a lot of fears about love came up. I saw them fighting all the time. And that kind of shaped my reality in a sense. How so? Well, I stopped dating. I wouldn't let anybody close to me unconsciously. Even though consciously I wanted love, nothing was coming in because I was so powerful that I had made an inner choice to stop the flow. So whenever I would try to date, etc., and meet guys, I would either meet unavailable, emotionally unavailable men, or men that reminded me of my dad, almost there but not present kind of thing. And it would drive me nuts. And in that space, what would happen is that, I would either blame society, I would blame men, I would blame the dating scene, I would feel like, oh, this is just how it is. Maybe some of you can relate. And the thing is that I was not feeling empowered. What felt empowering to me in that space was to actually, believe what was going on and say, well, it's going to be harder for me to find the right man, but it'll happen. But I had a lot of maybe resentment, fear, anxiety, anger towards what I was seeing. But guess what? Like I just said, I was so powerful that I had made an unconscious choice and I was creating it. Basically, I was fighting myself. Now, I didn't know this until I went deeper into this world and I got frustrated and tired of the results. And I said, you know what, something has got to change. Time is passing by. And when I saw the power of what my unconscious and my, my certain beliefs that I had about love and how they were impacting my life, I was like, wow, once I started seeing the results in my life, I was like, I really need to help other women, learn to do this. And so that's how my story was born. I went from 10 years of being single, not a man asking me out, pining after a guy for years, and him not choosing me, therefore repeating my how I felt about how I felt in regards to my dad's love for me. And then as soon as I started to shift this from within, all these men started to show up, invite me to go with them all over the world and treat me differently. And I was like, so what happened? I was doing so many outward based things. I was looking at my makeup, at my clothes, my hair, everything. I was reading about flirting with men, and I was learning about all the right things to say to a man, but it wasn't clicking. What happened is because I shifted my inner energy. I shifted my inner energy around this. So today, I'm going to share with you what I personally, recommend. Like, there are 3 main steps if you are ready to attract love in your life right now. Okay? If you are clear that love is a priority for you and that you are, you're committed to getting the results that you want, then I invite you to watch this video until the very end, because what I'm going to share with you today is not only going to make sense, it's also going to give you a clear path so that you know what to do, and how to feel empowered in your love life to create the clear path for you. Now, how does that sound? I see that we have some ladies on the line. I would invite you to share in the chat box to please connect with me, like share. What is your love intention for this year? You can either unmute your line or you can share in the chat box. The more feedback and the more you share with me, the better I'm going to be able to support you today. So to give you an outline, would anybody like to go first? Can we hear your voice? What's up, PC? How you been, man? Would anybody like to go first? Danielle, are you talking right now? Can everybody hear Danielle or no? Danielle, can you hear me? Like, can people confirm if you can hear me on the chat box, please? Can you hear me, ladies? Okay, you can hear me, but not Danielle. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Let me do this. So, okay. Ladies, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me, ladies? Okay, perfect. All right, ladies. So I invite you to connect with me. Feel free to share your screen, like to connect, for us to really get to know each other better. I would like for you to share with me, whether it's on audio, you can unmute yourself, or over the chat box, like, what is your love intention for this year? Let's start that way. Let's start that way. Who would like to share? Who would like to start? Ladies, I totally invite you to share. I'll share with you before we start something that I notice that happens a lot when I do trainings like this. Maybe it's a new topic for you. Maybe you feel a little bit shy for sharing things in regards to your love life. And I really get that. Now, to be able to receive love, a person must be willing to share, to be vulnerable, to open up. And the more I get to connect with you, the more I can actually bring into your energy, help you best support you, like tailor the training in ways that could really support you even better. And one of the things that I tend to see is, the fear of sharing coming up, but that is something that also shows up in relationships. And it's one of the things that can actually stop you from attracting the type of love that you want, right? It's kind of like a wall. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, ladies? So okay, ladies, can you hear me? All right, so for the moment, I have not been able, I'm not sure if you're hearing me or not, but I would love to know if what I just said makes sense. All right, ladies. So we will continue. Basically, what I will share with you in this training is, we will share 3 steps for you to align yourself in attracting the best partner and relationship for you. And in order to be able to do that today, I'm going to guide you with those 3 steps. What seems to be the one that I really recommend for women to start focusing on the most. And then we will do a live energy clearing session for you to start, opening up the energy. At the end of the training, I will refer to you to a training that I'm hosting, Open for Love, that starts on Saturday, for those of you who are interested in participating. For those of you that stay until the very end, you will get a special bonus from me. So make sure you watch it, because only those that are actually part of this training right now will get this bonus. So, all right, ladies. When it comes to love and it comes to attracting your ideal relationship, what seems to be your biggest vision? What pulls you to attract that type of relationship in your life? When I ask you about your ideal relationship or your process in attracting a man, are you clear about what that relationship would look like? Would you like to share with me in the chat box below? Are you clear about what it is? Or you can unmute yourself and share it with me? Or when I tell you, what does your ideal love relationship look like? Do you draw a blank? The reason why I asked this is because if you know me, like the main thing that I work to best support women is in, like if I could hand out one message that could make the biggest difference for you in your love life, is to always be empowered. And what does it mean to be empowered? To not wait for love, or to not assume that love is going to come to you just because. I see this happen all of the time where people tell me like, you should, basically what was happening is that I watched this video from The Bachelor the other day where he was the Bachelor was being interviewed. And, the host was asking him like, but you should be able to just, attract somebody like at a bar or at a restaurant and just be yourself. And like, why do you need to go to The Bachelor? And you know what? I'll tell you the truth. I had to stop the video right there because it's a misconception. And if I can help people to really understand their true power and their responsibility in love, then my life is complete. Why do I say this? Because there's so many things that are going on behind the surface of what allows a person to meet the right person, like quote unquote randomly like that. And the biggest thing is that we all haven't been raised the same. We don't have the same background. We don't have the same defense mechanisms that we created when we felt like we weren't safe growing up. Let's say we didn't feel good enough, we didn't feel like we could get love, etc. And you might see one of your girlfriends or several of your girlfriends like getting married, meeting certain people, and then you hear and receive their advice on love. But here's the thing. I personally believe that a lot of people are coping and using survival mechanisms when it comes to love. Why is that? Because love, I've personally seen how a person can create their reality. And when I mean that I had to go to great lengths to heal myself, to attract love in my life, the right type of love in my life, I really mean it. And I had to do it with a total energy of responsibility. Why do I say responsibility? Because I heard that somebody told me that if you don't, like, you tend to attract or recreate your parents' marriage. And in my case, my parents weren't even happy. And I said, there's no way that I would actually, attract that in my life. But then I saw that I kept attracting emotionally unavailable men. And I started to realize, the more I became aware, that I was feeling the same way with these like men, with how I felt with my dad. Like, they were there, but they were not there. And it was really weird. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Melissa. So I was like, what's going on? This doesn't make sense. And what really was happening is that sometimes you see growing up things that you resist so much that you start to attract them. So why is that? Because energy, like the subconscious, how many of you know this, that the subconscious doesn't know the meaning of the word no? So when you say, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want a relationship like my parents, I don't want a relationship like my parents, all the subconscious is hearing is, I want a relationship like my parents, relationship like my parents, relationship like my parents. So what happens is that you have to really learn more about yourself and take matters into your own hand, because not everybody is the same. So today I am going to introduce you to certain things that I call like your channels for love. And today I'm going to share with you whether those channels are closed or they're open, and how you can actually open them even further so that you start to attract the love that is right for you. I really ask myself, what is it that would have a person just learn about feminine energy and implement a couple words and have it work for them, and then have another person struggle with understanding feminine energy for years and not seem to attract the right type of man? What was happening is that, they didn't have the same background. Certain people were more open to love based on their upbringing and their responses after heartbreak, and others took things a little bit personal, decided to shut down, decided to protect themselves in a way that really blocked new energy from coming in. Does this make sense? Please let me know if it makes sense. So your channels of love, like, they really need to be open in 2019 for you to attract love, and the right type of love. So if you want your feminine energy work to really serve you, then you want to make sure that your channels for love are open. So for you to attract the right man in 2019, you want to first look at the first step. Like, the first step is actually being clear about your vision and your why. Are you clear about the type of man and relationship that you desire to attract? And when I say this, it's actually deeper than focusing on the type of job that he does, or his social interests or his income. I understand the need to want to feel protected, to want to have a partner that you feel contributes to your relationship and to the future that you're creating together. What I actually invite you to focus on is, are you clear about how he makes you feel? Are you clear about, the type of relationship that you want to create? Are you in your vision? Pay attention to these things. Are you in your vision taking in all of the feedback that you've received from other people in your life that says, love is hard? You have to work really hard to make a relationship work. Love comes with sacrifice. And then you're adding on to that vision, and are you doing that? How clear are you of your vision? Greetings, Lindsay. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Thank you so much. So let me know, please interact with me, because I work best with interaction, or else I feel like I'm talking with a screen. So thank you so much for being here. So does this make sense? How clear of your vision are you? Like, let's make this interactive so that you get the most amount of value here.
So do we just interact?
Yes.
We're able to ask questions and so forth?
We will have a Q&A later. For the moment being, like, just like if you can answer the questions, like, do you feel like you're clear about your love vision right now?
I personally, okay, I'll answer for myself. I personally feel like I have my vision set, but I want to fine tune it, and I want to understand the skills and the tools that I need to further refine this vision that I have right now.
Okay, that's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. So yeah, I love what Lindsay just shared, because it is important to have clarity on the vision. Now, once you have clarity on the vision, are you staying in a place of kind of like, it would be really nice for me to have this? Well, I am clear about the vision, but let me ask you something. Do you feel empowered about that vision? Do you feel like, I'm going to create this in my life? Or are you waiting to see if the stars will align, or if a man will show up in your life, and then you kind of lose momentum of the vision? What do you normally do with that vision is my question.
If anyone else goes, but I can answer that next question, which is I actually feel more empowered by my vision now than I ever have. It's awkward to say this out loud, but I feel that by shifting my energy, I did attract towards me a new relationship. And it's very much syncing up and aligning with that vision. But it's very, very new. And I watch your videos, I watch other videos by others who I know that you've worked beside. And I would take and integrate anything I've learned, and then I'm just.
You can't get in?
I'm allowing it to organically come about. And it's, yeah, I really want to fine tune this, because I know I'm in that place right now where it's like, I guess the fear, like you said, that whole line of, we feel like we need to work really hard at these things. And I'm still processing. I'm still processing what this is and where it is. And it's like, it's gone really fast in some ways, and yet it's also very careful. Well, I'm not even sure how to answer this in a short way, because I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to take up all the space.
Right. I hear you. No worries, love. So it's interesting, because it is really important. Why is the first step, and one of the most important steps that people need to focus on in their vision, is your vision. You know, when a person is motivated, when a person is clear about their why, meaning they know the value of something and they see themselves worthy of that, they are willing to do whatever it takes. And that's the biggest piece that I see missing, that needs to be addressed. When it comes to attracting the best type of love possible for you, it comes with valuing yourself to a high degree, to the highest degree possible. It's not just about holding an image of how would you like to feel in that relationship. It's also how you are regarding yourself. How do you desire to be treated in that relationship? What type of caliber, what kind of caliber of a man do you want and are committed and willing to attract in your life? Do you feel deserving of that? I am a very fierce woman, and I really I really make this clear that you need to have a fierce desire within you. It's not just a wishful desire or like it would be really nice for me to have it. You haven't fully claimed your worth when you let go of something that is of the highest value for you. You haven't fully claimed your worth if you let go of something that is of the highest value for you. And I see a lot of women make themselves wrong for their desire of love. They say, if it's not for me, maybe it's not for me. But if you know in your heart the importance of partnership, of oneness, of knowing and seeing yourself as, you know, creating a beautiful, you know, experience and understanding of your oneness with another person and creating that level of partnership. And you understand, or you have this feeling, because I hear this from women a lot who tell me, I know we're not meant to be alone. Then you need to stand firm in that desire. You can't let other people tell you, like, maybe I'm being too greedy, or maybe I shouldn't be want this, or maybe I should settle. Not everybody has love. All of those are sabotaging conversations that the ego is trying to trick you from your own desire. That's why I said earlier that I was fighting myself. And you have no idea that what you're actually fighting against is your defense mechanisms. So I share this with you because you need to see yourself as worthy. Right, so Melissa's saying that she's been told that she's too picky. Forget that. I was going to say another phrase, you know, but just like, you know what you want. So the first thing, there's certain elements in this piece of vision that you need to be very clear on. Believe in yourself. And believe in your vision and stand for it. Because sometimes even the universe tests you. It's like, you say you want it. Let me send you another emotionally unavailable guy to see what you're going to do. Are you going to complain? Are you going to start saying it's not going to work for me? Are you going to settle? You need to have strong roots in your belief system and what you allow yourself to have. People get triggered, Melissa, when you stand for greatness in your personal life or in any area of your life. And love is an area where I've actually in the last couple months seen how people lie a lot, right? Like they are scared when they sense that something might be not going on like in the way that they want it to in a relationship. So when they see another person claiming that they want this or the other, it triggers them. Does that make sense? And they might, like, it's like the crabs in a bucket syndrome. They try to bring you down because they're afraid. So send them love, send them blessings, but you get to stand on your vision because it's your vision. Not everybody has the exact vision of the type of man and relationship that they want to have in their life. It's yours and it's unique. And it's a vision that you created with the universe, God, however you want to call it, like life, your higher self, right? It's your vision and it's your duty to create it in this lifetime. So own your vision. Be surrounded by people who are going to tell you, yes, that's an amazing vision. What else do you want to add to it? So I really share this because you need to see yourself worthy of your vision. And even if deep down you might not feel worthy of it, you have to be aware enough that you need to feel worthy of it and be willing to take the actions and the steps of a person who sees themselves as worthy of it. You know, like you feel the fear, but you do it anyway kind of thing. So if you need to let go of a man that is not right for you, if the universe sends you a guy that is Mr. 50% and not Mr. 100%, you need to stand your ground. Why? Because you're so connected with the vision. Without the vision, without the clarity, you get washed away by the ocean. Does that make sense? You get washed away by all the people that are complaining about online dating. You get washed away by all the people that tell you that dating is a game, that you need to control it, you need to manipulate to get love. And then you get crushed because they're like, oh, that feels yucky, right? Like, I don't want to have to do that. Of course, no worries. And so you have to be very clear about your vision. It's not just about, wow, if I had that, like being with this man would make me feel so great. No, it's like, get clear when it comes to the vision piece of why you're worthy and you value yourself enough to claim it and to have it and to decide to have it this year. That is the most crucial piece that you need to have. Your clarity on your worth to have it. Even if you've never had somebody tell you I love you, even if you've never felt loved before, you need to give yourself that love and that clarity of your worth and claim it. Because once you claim it, that is the first step, one of the most powerful steps for you to start attracting different. You might attract opposition from that space. People, even men that get triggered by a woman owning her worth. Guess what? Those men are in fear. They haven't healed their wounds. They're operating under codependent agreements, but it doesn't need to be your reality. So even if people run away from your light, guess what? You're only making space for the man that will. So the biggest step that I want to start with today is owning the vision. So how does this relate to you so far? I would love to hear. Would any of you like to comment or share? Is this resonating? You can, unmute yourself, or you can share in the chat box. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that. So I want to do a little small exercise with you right now. Like, I don't want this to be just talk, right? I want to create the opportunity for you in the next couple minutes for you to feel into your vision. Why are you important enough? Why are you valuable to have this? Why would you choose you? And let yourself have love now. So you can, for the moment, you can close your eyes for a couple minutes. If you can't close your eyes, you can still take some minutes to really feel into this. Imagine light coming in, beautiful pink light from the sky, filling you up with an energy of unconditional love for yourself. And see how this light goes to the center of the earth, filling you up, sourcing you from above and below, and see it be as big as the size of the whole universe. Keep yourself in the pink light. And really feel love for yourself. All the love that you wish to receive and that you know that is rightfully yours. Okay. Now, in this space, I want you to visualize yourself in front of you, whatever age comes up. And see yourself having the love that you deserve. Why are you worthy of this love? For some, it would be best to just see yourself and to connect with yourself at a deeper level. Connect with your worth. You can even visualize yourself as a little girl. And think about all the love that you as a little girl deserve and deserved. Feel into this love. Meditate on this love. And choose to give it to yourself now. Make a pact with yourself that you will go for it, that you're committed, that you're willing. And honor your word. You can see yourself hugging the version of you of a child or the current version of you. Or you can stay a couple seconds more visualizing yourself with your ideal relationship. Just stay with this. Why are you worthy of it? Why are you committed to it? And in this space, you can say thank you, inhale, exhale, and open up your eyes. So ladies, what came up for you? Who would like to share? You're muted. Wait, Lindsay, I can't hear you.
No?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, if anyone else, well, I guess I just didn't want to take up too much space. But for me, it took me a minute to just like find my grounding. And I reached into a previous, I guess, like image that I had gained from a meditation, in the past, and it was finding my light within and really, really, really like allowing it to brighten, 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 and that was the source of love that I was pulling sort of forth from myself. And when you asked to see myself in front of myself, there were many versions of me that kind of like appeared in different like like it was kind of like they were sort of not morphing, but it was just like kind of these different essences of places I've been and who I've been. When you brought up the little girl, that felt especially powerful because it took me back to that innocence and that sweetness, and how much that innocence and that sweetness has such huge value. Whether it's my own little innocent sweetness right here, or whether it's, the innocence and the sweetness that I know purest me. So from that place, I pulled that sense of love for that me, that deserves such, abundant, like lovingness and protection and care and sacredness. And I really stayed there for the most part. And but when I looked at this other, and I looked at the other whom I'm with right now, and I realized that, like I really haven't up till this point in a truly deep way hold that same desire and that worth that you're speaking of right now. I haven't, even though I thought I was, even though I thought that's what I'm doing. It's really, I'm realizing how deep and internal this really is before you can actually even just recognize it. And now that I'm seeing it, I want to cultivate that. cultivate that deservingness, because this new relationship does reflect to me a lot of, like, right now it is actually like it's like on the doorstep, and it's saying, do you feel worthy of the best of this?
Yeah, that's
Because there's a
beautiful.
lot of negatives that are kind of like trying to come in and
Of
say,
course. I hear you. So thank you so much for sharing, Lindsay. And that's why I say that it's a process and a commitment and a willingness. Because we can know it, and then we hear other voices, and that's what I'm going to address in the next point. I would like to hear from somebody else. Would anybody else like to share, like, what came up for you during the exercise before we move forward? You can either do this in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. Okay, so Melissa's sharing that her issue is believing that she deserves it, right? So, that used to be mine. That was the biggest thing. So I can totally relate. Here's the thing, ladies. Let's move to the, so is everybody clear on the reason why I said the number one step is being clear on the vision? And do you see the value of what I shared about not just being clear of the vision of how you're treated, but are you connecting it with your worth and making it a non-negotiable? That is important, because it's like you don't do that when it comes to other areas of your life that are important. I want you to see how how subtle your ego can get here. You don't think about you don't think it's selfish for you to have a great job. Then why do you think that it might be selfish for you to go for love? It's tricky. It's tricky. So you want to be very clear with your worth inside of the whole visioning process of, like, being clear on your vision, if that makes sense. I know I just, said something with a lot of words that I shouldn't have, but here's the thing. Let's move to the second piece. The second step for you to attract your ideal man in a relationship this year is you want to seek your alignment. And this is the piece where I want to empower you. And that's why I was saying that I was cringing at the Bachelor interview, because it's like, the biggest gift that I can give the world is understanding that, hey, your inner working is what's actually creating your reality. And I want to help you understand what alignment means, because love is an area that you started to imprint since you were a kid, since you're 0. Most kids' minds from ages 0 to 7 or to 10 are purely in subconscious space. That is almost hypnosis. And it's not necessarily what they are, they're seeing that impacts their reality. It's what they perceive of the effect. Does that make sense? And because for a kid, their brains are still in development, they make everything mean about them. Their parents are not happy. Maybe there's something wrong with me. And that's the classic. That's how it starts. The number one thing that I hear from women, and I've spoken with women for years now in the area of love, that they tell me is, Nicole, I haven't been attracting the right type of men. I'm attracting emotionally unavailable men. I'm doing this or the other. And it's not working. There must be something wrong with me. Let me tell you something. It's not what's currently going on right now that would have you believe that something's wrong with you. You imprinted that belief way back. And that's what's in the unconscious. And because you are actually going for love, it's coming out. Not because it's the truth. It's because the universe is telling you, if you want the right type of love, you need to let go of this belief right here. So it might attract circumstances that are not the right fit for you, not because it's telling you that it's the truth. It's just you are so powerfully enough that because you create with your own words and thoughts and feelings and what you have like in your unconscious, that's what you attract. So the first thing is you want to seek an alignment. It's you don't want to believe it. If you feel like there must be something wrong with me, or there must be something wrong with men, because it might not just be you, You know, like you might think there must be something wrong with men in my city. There must be something wrong with the men in my country. There must be something wrong with the dating scene. They're all the same. Okay. You, others, the dating scene, etc. They're all the same. The universe and your brain is showing you, hey, this is what you're believing. Therefore, you attract that because like attracts like. Basically see that everybody's creating their own reality. So that's why I said, you know, you can't go inside of the mind of every single person on the earth to know what they made be about love when they were growing up, but you can be clear that just like, you know, whatever belief you took in and you made real, you can change. And you want to seek that alignment. One of the methods that I personally love, in particular to this dating piece and attracting the best fit for you, is because love is an area that is really close to your heart. It is very tied to survival. Oh, you know, babies, they could die if they're not like hugged, right? Like hours after they're born, right? So it's very tied to survival in many ways. And if you let those energies come out of you and you believe them, and you don't know how to own your power in your love life yet, what's currently happening is that you can either feel like a victim, feel victimized by the dating scene, or you might be left trying to solve with your conscious mind all of the details of what created what you're currently living, okay? And it's good to start, you know, sitting down and thinking like, okay, so how am I creating my reality? How do these relationships remind me like of my dad or my mom? Or maybe it wasn't a mom or a dad kind of thing. It was your first heartbreak, you know, your first boyfriend. How did you start to believe that you needed to protect yourself from love, hide from love, believe that love wasn't going to work for you, etc.? What I want you to know is that these thoughts and these energies, because they come with the impact and the shock or the fear, they can either stay really stuck in the back of your unconscious, okay, or even in your body, okay? So even though it was 20, 30 years ago, however long years ago, you might be really confident now going out and still meeting unavailable men, and you're like, you might not even remember the fear, okay? But it's still there. Just because you cannot feel it doesn't mean that it's not there. Your unconscious mind holds like 90% of your attracting power, okay? And because you made choices in that moment, maybe you saw your parents fighting, you were like, I don't want this. Love is like this. And because it was the brain of a kid, you can make very generalized statements about love. All men are like my dad. Right now, you might not believe it, right? But you have the imprint and the shock of that energy and the fear attached to it, and therefore you attract it. There's a lot of charge and energy there. I remember one of my clients came to me and she was like, Nicole, I've been working on myself, you know, like I've been doing all these things, like I've been consulting, I've like worked with a therapist, and we've spoken about this for years. I know what's currently going on. But yet I don't seem to find, you know, or attract the right type of men. And I'm like, okay. So we look into the energy piece. Like I look into the energy and I'm like, you don't want it. You don't want it. Consciously, intellectually, you can talk about love, but emotionally, like way back in your energy, you're saying, no, I saw my mom go through a lot of hurt. I saw my dad go through a lot of hurt. And that energy is what attracts. Does that make sense? So I really want to clarify this because I don't want to make blanket statements or say like, this is what it is. If you have been studying feminine energy, if you've been leaning back, and yet you're still attracting emotionally unavailable men. So, yeah. So like, for example, Melissa, you're sharing like, I can get men, but can't keep them. And then you feel like I might not be good enough, right? But you see, that's what's currently happening for you. Is not your ego will have you believe that. But what's happening is that's an imprint that you took in since you were very little. And then you're so powerful that you recreate it. Energy keeps recreating itself in many different ways, but it's your energy, it's what you're believing. You first need to go inward to heal it, to change it. If you have like a little baby next to you, if you're a mother, for example, you don't look at your baby and wonder if she's good enough or not. You just know it. You see a bundle of love and light, like that's who you are. And then somewhere along the way, you imprinted a belief about yourself, and it's a distortion. It's not real. But then you are so powerful, and we operate under free will, that you recreate that. So it's important to not feel victimized or to believe it, because the ego will keep you in a cycle. You want to seek your alignment. You want to release all of those fears, energies, emotions. And it's actually a process that is very powerful, very effective, and it's very simple. You don't have to analyze it to death, right? Or face it in a way. You just want to like be able to release it. And that is what helped me. That is what's helped my clients over the years. You know, one of my clients, she was single for 10 years, like I said. Nothing was clicking, and she was protecting herself. And it wasn't until we did this sort of like energy release that like I think it was like 3 weeks after we did it, her man showed up. Right now, I won't say that it's going to happen immediately for every person, but you want to release the whoosh, like that energy where you close, or where you make real your pain. Does that make sense? You make it so real, then like you don't attract anything else. Or if you attract it, you sabotage it, because it's not your subconscious self-image or image of the world or image about men or dating. How many of you were sold survival in love? Like, I have to fight for love. I have to fight for my man. Like, I have to watch my back for another woman. You know, like men are cheaters. You have to please a man, etc. Like, you see why a woman might be like, I don't want this. A kid might, you might think that. Right. So thank you so much for sharing that. So if you were taught survival, you want to release it, because it just shuts your energy down. You want to seek alignment. You want to seek the abundance so that you're actually open. And this piece, tied with the first one, is what actually makes your energy open for love. Do you see how, like, you can talk about how much you want love, about how much you're learning about feminine energy, and if you're not getting results, or you attract the guy that is really good for you and then you sabotage it, you need to look at this, because you're very powerful. It's just that you have a lot of energy that's like blocking the flow. So what are these things? When I say energy, I want to make it very clear for you. So what is it that I mean? Your thoughts and your feelings, your emotions, they have a frequency, they have weight. And when they're lower vibrational or lower like density or lower consciousness feelings and thoughts and ideas, they weigh you down, right? And they don't let you move forward. So they carry a lot of weight and they carry mass. So what are some of them? Doubt, guilt, shame, not being good enough, believing that or guilt, there's something wrong with me, or there's something wrong with men or the dating scene. Fear, no, love is difficult, apathy, like why bother kind of thing. All of these things, they come attached with stories, identities of the roles that a woman should play, the roles that a man should play, etc. All those things that you picked up, they come with memories and the pain that you weren't able to fully process. And all of that is just there. And it doesn't even like, let's say if you were to choose between 5 men, you have 5 men in front of you, like at a grocery store, because your energy is so wired to what you believe could happen, or the fear or everything, even though consciously you might be like, I'm so excited, I'm ready for love. If you know that you have that in the back, what happens is that you might look, out of all the 5 men, you might look and feel attracted to the one that's going to bring up all those feelings to you. Does that make sense? Because that's where the energy is at. If you were to release all of that energy, you wouldn't even look at that guy. You wouldn't even feel attracted to him. Your energy would align you with the man that is right for you. Does that make sense? So I really want to help you see this, because a lot of people ask me, like, what do you mean by energy? Like, that's too much of a broad term, and I understand it. I just want you to know that you have so much power, that you create defense mechanisms. And so it's responsibility. I don't want to make this sound like larger than life. It's just a matter of like, okay, like, this is my story. What Nicole is like relating, like, really resonates with me. Like, what do I get to do for myself here? How do I seek that alignment? Right? Why do I do this? Why am I so committed to this? Because I work with I see women who throw the towel, who wait until the last minute before they can't, like, they might want to have a kid, but they wait until the last minute to do something, because this world tells you, like, love should just come to you. It doesn't work that way. It comes to the people that are aligned. Unconsciously, their channels for love are open. They might have had situations, but they didn't shut down. Certain people don't come from backgrounds where there was abusive behavior, where you were made to feel like you weren't worthy or deserving of love. Does that make sense? If you know that you had a specific background and you want to have a better one, better future, then it's your responsibility to show up and to see that alignment. So I created this for you to really, I believe that once you're clear about the path, you know how to take action, and you're willing to go there, and you're willing. So what is it that I recommend to do in this regards of peace? That I do an energy release work, energy clearing work. How many of you are familiar with energy clearing? Because we will do an exercise in the next couple minutes.
Not
okay.
Really.
Carmen, are you?
No.
You don't? Okay. So, Carmen, did you do my exercise on, like, the beautiful woman meditation?
No.
Okay, good. So Lindsay knows, Alana knows, Melissa, do you know?
No.
You know? Good.
No.
So basically, energy clearing is, I don't believe that you have to talk about something for years for it to be released, okay? Most of it is the imprint of the shock of a moment of something that happened where you felt like something broke your, like, heart, or you felt like you needed to protect yourself from love. And you start storing all of these energies in your body and in your unconscious. And like I said, imprints that you had since you were a very kid. One of my favorite doctors is Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has this book about breaking the habit of being yourself. And he talks about how people store feelings and emotions in their body once they don't know how to process them, or in a way that is effective, that is empowering, that is loving, and how the energy stays stored around you. So it's a technique that helps you release like cellular memory, that really gives orders to your unconscious to release the beliefs about love not being safe, and it's not going to work for you. The I'm not good enough kind of thing. I can't trust men sort of thing. Like, love is going to hurt me belief systems. So that once that energy is released, like, you make the unconscious choice to release it here, and that like frees your body. It's like, oh, your body's like, oh my God, thank you so much. I don't have to store this anymore. And that way you become willing to engage in something else, because that energy can be so strong. You might even mistake it for attraction, and you might get attracted to the wrong type of men. It's not what it is. It's just defense mechanisms that you imprinted as a kid. How many of you, like, let me test something out. One of the things that I noticed with my first clients ever was that whenever I would ask them about certain moments specifically in their childhood, they would tell me that they don't remember anything, like that they would only see like a black image, like they just erased it. Have any of you gone through something like that? Like, no? Okay, so it's a thing. Like like love didn't feel safe for you, so you store things in the back of your mind. You store them, you store them, you store them, because it felt scary. So you want to be able to just release that energy, because even if you don't remember it, perfect. So that's awesome. So even though if you don't remember it, it's energy that is there. Does that make sense? And people might say, I've done Reiki, I'll do pranic healing, I'll do theta healing. But they're like, but Nicole, it's still not happening. And like, it's still there somewhere. And how is it that I see that it's still there? It's because you've created an identity that is attached to the I'm not good enough. Love is not going to work for me. And to release that identity, it represents like death to your subconscious, right? Because you've made it who you are. Does that make sense? It's no longer a memory. It's an identity. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that is why it's important to release it, because it comes with a lot of emotional pull. So a lot of women are like just trying to use affirmations, etc. And I've been there. Like it can take years until you actually hit with the unconscious belief. But if you actually just release the emotionality from it, like the energy, the identity, you don't have to spend years. It can only just take you a couple weeks or months, and you will immediately start to see things and start to attract it a different way, because the unconscious is like 90% of the game, and then the conscious mind is like 10%. So imagine what it is like for you to be analyzing and thinking about it and talking about something over and over and over. Well, all you have to do is access the unconscious and just say, hey, thank you so much for holding this belief. I know you were trying to protect me, and now it's time to go. Does that make sense? Like, I am powerful, that I can attract something new in my life. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're clear about how it works then. Like, you want to release the subconscious belief, and you also want to release the cellular memory of something, so that your path, your channels for love are totally open. One of my clients, she was attracting a lot of emotionally unavailable men that were like valuing her. We did some of this release work, and woof, she met the guy that was right for her right after we did the work, and now she's happily married, right? She had to release it, right? And it was really quick for her. So that's why I want to address this and save you time and energy and investments and etc., so that you know where to focus your energy at. And it makes it so easy. Like, it's just release, right? So then the last point before we move into the clearing is you want to also then, from that space, once you release these these survival beliefs about love and about yourself, you want to work on your embodiment of a higher love vibration and love relationship, right? Because we are sold so much on survival tactics, like, even if you're with your man, like, you have to always watch your back, like, you have to care for how you look, etc. Like, these are the things that I learned is from a Latino background. So like, you're never too safe in love. Like, love is a game. Like, you have to keep him at a distance. Like, all of these things. So it's so interesting. If you want to be able to transcend that, because let's say that, and because I said also that it's an identity thing, now that you've released it, you want to create a new way of being that actually attracts to you a higher vibration of love, like a higher experience in love, a man that is generous and kind in his love, you feeling worthy and deserving of that, and keeping yourself there, seeing yourself there, and creating a new way of being. Why is that? One of my clients, actually a couple of them, Once their man showed up, they're like, whoa, like, you know, like if the energy shifted, the man is in front of them, and they're like, okay, Nicole, like fear started to kick in because they needed to ground themselves maybe in the worthiness, in that they were saved, that they could have support in their life, right? And they needed to create a new way of being, a new way of communicating and standing for themselves and for love in creating that sort of experience so that they didn't sabotage it. Does that make sense? So once you've created skill, you focus on building the new. That is it. And why do I say that? Notice that I have not mentioned in any given moment during today, like feminine energy and part of it. All that I'm teaching you here is feminine energy. But I really need to address it at a deeper level because a lot of people just think that feminine energy is about like, let me like lean back kind of thing, or let me know how to receive. And yes, that's great, but how do you actually let yourself receive? By trusting yourself, your power, trusting the universe, trusting the person, like trusting yourself enough to trust the person in front of you, looking at how to create union and intimacy from a really connected and abundant space. And being so connected with the vision that you actually open up and allow it to happen. And you're so connected with your worth that you let it happen. All of it is feminine energy. It's just deeper embodiment of it. The feminine is a force to be reckoned with. It really is. Because once we stand for something, we know our true value and our worth, and we let ourselves have it. So in order to do that, you have to be willing. And the main step that I want to focus on here is the alignment piece, which can be deeper. You want to release all of that in just a matter of weeks so that you can be in alignment. So is that clear, everybody? Like, does that resonate? Let me know, because we want to start with the clear right now. What would you feel like made the biggest sense for you based on what I just shared?
The biggest cleanse?
The biggest insight.
I guess keeping you in a state of mind that I guess you're good enough, or staying out of these other areas of thinking and staying in the new you. I guess.
I love that. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else would like to share? Awesome. So what would you like to share, Alana? Let's see. So ladies, as Alana shares, we are going to start a quick clearing process so that you see what it feels like for yourself. And then we will go over the program, the Open for Love program that I help you with in really releasing those belief systems, those defense mechanisms, so that you're in alignment and you will immediately start to see results in your love life. Make sure you watch this until the very end, because those of you that are here live will get a bonus, and it's only available for you. Okay, so, and we will do a little bit of the clearing, because normally I go with these clearings with my clients for like 90 minutes, like hours, and we really like it, you know, in the span of like weeks, and they see immediate results. Today we're going to do a quick one so that you start to see like how this can impact you in your life. So let's just close our eyes for a second. And let the energy of love come through the sky and pierce through all of your body and your energy with pure unconditional love. And see it move to the center of the earth And then see and feel yourself being sourced by light, love, joy, and peace coming from the center of the earth. And see this light expanding until it's the size of the universe. Keep yourself connected, feeling and imagining this energy, and feel the expansion. Feel your expansion. Just see yourself getting bigger, all of your energy getting bigger. And now that you're creating space, we ask the universe to really support you, your higher guidance. We ask that every single belief that is showing for you right now, that it's making you believe that you're not worthy, you're not deserving, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. Everything that stops you from saying yes to yourself and deciding to have love this year, we ask that this energy is completely released at all levels now and forever. All programs, thoughts, feelings of delaying your attraction of your ideal man and relationship, we ask that they're completely removed at all levels now and forever. All programs of love is not going to work for me, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of love is too complicated, we're going to release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of love is insanely difficult, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I can't have love, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I don't believe in myself enough to have this love, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All ways in which you don't value yourself enough to have love, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All ways in which you don't value yourself enough to have your ideal love life come true, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. Everywhere you believe that it might not happen for you, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I can't have love, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of love is not going to work for me, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I don't know if it's going to work for me, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I must not be good enough, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I must not be good enough, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I will be disappointed, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of I'll get hurt, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of love isn't for me, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of love is hard, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All sabotage programs that you stop yourself from choosing yourself and having love, fully believing that you can have it, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All habits of delaying your actions when it comes to aligning yourself with love, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. We ask your higher guidance in this moment to help clear away all of what we shared so far in a more profound way. Anything that's in the way of this, we ask that it is completely released at all levels now and forever. Everything that stops you from believing in yourself, we ask that it is completely released at all levels now and forever. Everything that stops you from believing in yourself, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. Everything that stops you from taking action, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. Everything that has you doubt taking action, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of defeat or fear, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. All programs of sabotage, we completely release it at all levels now and forever. Stay in this energy. And now, let yourself be infused with an energy of belief. Let the energy of belief take over you. Believe that you can have the love that you want. Belief in yourself. Let yourself be filled, sourced by the energy of belief. Feel or see yourself opening up your arms to love. Sense and feel yourself being fully filled with the energy of love and belief in yourself, an opportunity and possibility. Feel it. Let it really go through you, open up. Let all of this energy of hope, belief fill you up. Now imagine yellow light coming in from both the sky and the earth, filling all of your field with the energy of yellow and all that this color represents, to fill you with belief and hope. And let it fully reach to every single cell in your body and in your energy. In this space, we give thanks. As more energy of yellow comes in, just find yourself feeling the energy of gratitude. Just thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Thank you to yourself, saying yes to yourself. Feel the energy of thank you. Okay. So in that space, you can inhale, exhale, and then open up your eyes. How are you feeling, ladies?
Much better.
You feeling much better?
Yeah, much better.
Lighter? Good, good, good. What did you notice Did you feel anything? Did you see anything?
I felt the light, and I seen a light, and then I just felt like you could just feel the negative energy leading as you were doing all those steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the body knows, you know, like you are connecting with that, like you're not seeing yourself as small anymore. And this works at really deep levels. You know, I say at all levels now forever, but there is just to shorten it up. But there's more at play. Now, this is a general clearing that I created for you today. I tend to work in smaller groups of women because I want to be able to look into your energy, to study what's going on. I create like really specific plans for you so that I know what are your specific like belief systems that are impacting the quality of men that you're attracting in your life, and the type of relationships. So what we do together is that we release those beliefs. And I mean really release them. Like the identity, that's amazing. I'm so happy that you feel lighter, Alana. That you feel that you release the identities. You know, identities in and of itself is a pretty big piece of it. Then we release also like the memory, like not like you will forget the memories, but like the charge that you have with the memories and what you made it mean. And we go deeper into that. Now, when I work this with my clients, we go for sessions of 90 minutes, right? With Q&A and coaching, but we go deeper and very tailored to your things. Believe me, once you know what like the words are for you and we work on releasing those, you will like, if you felt lighter now, you will feel like, whoo, and out of nowhere, you will start to attract like other types of men. And you're like, what happened? Like, I've been doing this for years or months and I haven't seen any, like, you know, this sort of shift is because you actually open up for real this time. And not in a vulnerable way, like you're actually owning your power and you're building trust again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Alana is saying, for me, the biggest insight was when you said, when a belief becomes a part of our identity, which is why it can often be so challenging to clear. Exactly. That's the main thing that I have to clear, actually. Because I know people who might go to like a Reiki session and the person will be like, your energy's cleared right now. But then you didn't let go of the identity and whoop, you close the energy again. Like you close the channel because you're still harboring the same cycle of energy within you. Does that make sense? You created a temporary opening, but you didn't release it, like the identity. And what's left, you know, because it might sound scary to the ego, what's left is you owning your power and trusting yourself and trusting the life and creating your best life, right? It's connected with the part of you that knows, and healing that part of you that is afraid, that is affecting what you attract into your life. So to share with you really quickly, the program, it's a program that's called Open for Love. It's a 5-week course that I created to start the year right, to open up your channels for love, to align you with love this year. Why is this important? And why is it that I do this training once a year? Like at the beginning of it, it's because I want to help you open you up. I want you to start seeing immediate results so that when you see like, wow, like as soon as I open up my energy, I seek that alignment, I see the improvement, like I see all these different men showing up. And I create this program and I put a lot of emphasis in it because it's important. It's the most important thing. And like, we're not taught how to process love. We're not taught how to do it. And then we have all these survival defense mechanisms and we shut down and they're all like misplaced, and you create a lot of things that you don't want to see. So you want to bring it back to order and alignment so that you trust yourself, you have peace, you let yourself attract the right type of person. I find that for us women, like it's even more important because we can be so emotional that the energy just gets stuck. So if you want to release it, awesome. And I want to really be able to help you to do that. Now, what we do in these 5 weeks is that we have 3 main calls in which I help you release like the specific beliefs that are affecting you in your love life. It is a small group. Like I intend to have only tops like 15 women in it, tops. What happens is that I will send you a questionnaire that you fill out specifically that I'm going to study to know what are your specific beliefs that are getting in the way of you attracting the right type of man. And we're going to start working on them during this training. Now we start on Saturday. We're going to start with Saturday with a coaching session. I'm going to explain to you how this is actually going to work for you. And we're going to make it a Q&A so that you're really empowered and you let love come in this year. So what does this look like? First session where we're going to work on, building your belief system, building the vision, being very clear about it so that you are connected with your power and you are committed, you're in. Then in the other sessions, we're going to work on the main areas where I see women host the most amount of energy once I've studied your profiles and what you've shared with me, and we're going to start releasing them, the identity, everything, so that you will immediately see results. If you cannot be there live, you will get recordings. This comes with a closed and private Facebook group. Nobody can see that you're, in it, but where you can ask me questions in between sessions for Q&A, for questions. You can get like insight from me and coaching. You will also get a private session with me so that you know how to implement this in your life. What you're going to notice and how this program is actually going to help you is that it is tailored, it's to the point in releasing those particular beliefs in a span of weeks, rather than trying to analyze it and, stay all this time trying to solve something that, like I said, consciously tends to doesn't hold the same sort of power. We want to go there and we want to release it really quickly so that you have no resistance whatsoever and you start to attract men right away, like the right type of men. So what you will see at the end of this course is that you will start attracting the right type of men. My type of clearings, I recommend that you do them a couple of times. You can get results right away. It's just every person is different. And I'm going to guide you because some people, because like I said, of the identity, they might have a little bit of resistance. And they might be like, oh, okay, but even if you hear that resistance, I promise you it's working. You just need to do it a couple more times and maybe like lie down, just relax. But I'll make sure that it really works for you and I'll be there to help you like to release it, and the value of that is incredible. You will get results from this, I find a lot of pleasure in doing this for women because I see what it is like to stay stuck with these beliefs about yourself and the unhappiness that comes from it. I don't want you to be happy. I want you to feel like, woof, like I want you to attract your man really quickly and the most easy way possible. Now, I have already shared, you get 5 weeks of classes with me, with trainings. You get 3 main calls of 90 minutes long where we're going to clear energy and we're going to have the Q&A and the coaching. Like I said, and you're going to get the private session with me as well. Now, like I said, there's a bonus for those of you who stay here until the very end. And what I have decided to share, and this bonus is only for the people that are here live, is that I'm going to add an additional session with me privately. And it's only for those who decide to join this training by tomorrow, by end of day tomorrow, because we're starting on Saturday. Okay? So the session with me is basically worth what the whole program is worth. And I wanted to give it to you as a gift so that I can give you even further support along the way as you're putting everything into practice so that you see how you can get results even more quickly. Now, what the investment for this program is $637 US. You're going to get the recordings and the trainings for you to keep forever. And if you are interested in participating, here's how I am currently doing this, because I haven't opened up my website yet for online payments. I'm in the process of that. And I'm also, because I'm very private, I connect with you ahead of time to ensure that the training is the right fit for you to answer any sort of questions that you have. you use this link that I just added on the chat box to set up a 15-minute call with me. Okay? So the times that are available are for tomorrow. This call is for the person that says that they want to participate and that it feels like it's the right fit for them and they have any questions and you want to process it and you want to join. That is the call. We will go over why the training is the right fit for you, any sort of questions that you have, and we will move forward in signing up for the program. The investment is $637, and those of you who are here, you're going to get a second call with me. Why am I doing this? Because I want to be able to give you all the right support so that you feel super equipped to enter the year and have the clarity that you want and that you seek. Now, does anybody have any sort of questions first about the program? Yeah? Tell me. Carmen?
Oh, I had a different question, not about the program. I had a question as we're doing clearing, and if we are dating someone or seeing someone that does not align or is unavailable, emotionally unavailable, or not specifically someone that we find ourselves being at this point being aligned with, how does that affect our clearing?
It depends. Every person is different. If you do the program, I will be able to tell you more inside of the intake that I'm going to send you. But what happens sometimes is that because you shift your energy and you open up, the person can actually open up to you too. Does that make sense? Or the person might leave and open up the way for the right person. Does that make sense? So I had a client once, she was attracting a man that was not the right fit for her. And she was attracting a man that was not the right fit for her. She thought he wasn't, but once she shifted her energy and how she was showing up, he changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's very happy with him. They're married. So
good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Because I think my energy was not open at first, so then he kind of took a step back, way back, and now I think I'm open, and then he just took the opposite step back to where I was at the beginning of the relationship. So makes sense.
So because when there's a lot of reactiveness, you can see that in the other person as well. But once you shift your energy, things can change. And that's where the private help from my end, I can help you and I can support you. I can and look at what's going on and I can coach you as well. You're not just going to be doing clearing. You're also going to be doing coaching, and how to open up and how to start, seeing results and shifting your energy and your response.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Thank you so much. Good. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You're welcome. So remember, ladies, does everybody, can you all see the link? There's times for tomorrow. Awesome. So does anybody else have any questions about the program, or are you curious, you have any doubts? Are you clear on how it would help you?
Yes.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? Alana, Carla, Danielle, Michelle? So let's see. Awesome. So Melissa and Alana, reach out to me, and I can give you more information. My email is Nicole. So can I offer you, actually, can I just say a comment about this right now? Because if you find yourself feeling like you can't afford it, I want you to go back to what we spoke about in the beginning about choosing yourself and not making it a non-negotiable. Why is this? Because and I'm just saying, if this actually really clicked for you and you're like, oh, I can see clearly how this can help me and it's a clear path. And, I'm willing to give this to myself. Then when you say first, I'm willing to give this to myself, you're willing to find a way. Does that make sense? You don't stop at saying, well, let me look at this, if I can do it or not. I am first choosing to do this because I love myself. I'm valuing myself. I'm claiming that I'm worthy of this, and I find a way. And I don't say this to trigger people. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a choice, and I honor it and I respect it. I am actually offering this for people who might not realize this and who are like, wait a minute, I could actually do this if you find yourself in that situation. It's about not the current resources that you have, but your resourcefulness. Are you willing to say yes to yourself? Because when you stay in that space of willingness and openness, a miracle will happen. The answer will come to you in your willingness. I remember one time I had quit my job. I had, a horrible thing happen to me. Somebody took in almost all of the money from my bank account, like a personal family member. And, I found myself like, and then I had this coaching opportunity come up, and I just had no idea how I was going to do it. I didn't have the money for it, but in my heart, it clicked what the person said. And because I was so connected with my vision and my love for myself, that no matter what was going on, I was like, yes, I'm committed to doing this. How do I do this? I know I need to do this for me. Like, I'm committed to excellence. I'm committed to me. How do I do this? Even though I was hurt, I felt betrayed, felt like I couldn't trust, but none of that mattered. I was committed to me. And when I said yes to me, the money for the program came in. Does that make sense? It's like, yeah. I had to remain open and willing. And one of the ways in which the money came in was actually taking a part-time job, but it was not ideal, but I did whatever it took out of love for me. So it's the resourcefulness that comes out of love. And I was also connected with the urgency in my vision. Okay? I was like, the only resource that you don't ever get back is time. And that's what I said. So don't let, just a resource sort of thing get in the way, because that's one of the things that makes you feel like you can't do things. The same thing will show up in your love life. But the more you can beat those, comments that your mind says to you, the more you can start to trust yourself and really see that it's possible. So if some of you are feeling that way, if you want, for me to help you in how to open up and create it, you can also apply, no worries. Just don't take yourself out of, if you're willing and you're connected, there's always a way. Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah. It's about really being connected to your worth and your value. There's always a way. I've sold things, but it's out of love. When I first started, I was in fear based on what happened when my money was taken away. But my sense of trust was in me and in my source. Not just in me, there's a higher energy, intelligence that is supporting you, higher power, whoever you want to call it, the universe. So when you are open and you're showing to the universe through your actions and your embodiment, no matter what you're seeing, that you're saying yes to you, and your actions reflect that, and you're committed to it and willing, you will get results. And you will get results better than a lot of people, because you're all in for you. All right, ladies? Yes. Does that help?
Yes.
Awesome. So I know we're a little bit past time. For those of you who have to go, I understand. I'm going to stay in the line for an additional 15 minutes to answer any sort of, questions, Q&A that you have currently going on in your love life, and how to best support you if you would like that. Now, let me know if you have any sort of questions.
Sure.
And I would love to help you.
So I have a question. I am seeing this guy, been seeing him for 6 months. And I think that, like I had mentioned earlier, I don't think we are aligned, just because he has baggage that I was unaware of until I started to meet him. And having a child, and having a child from a parent who is not, responsible. The other parent's not responsible. But I mean, he has all these charming characteristics of being happy, being fun, you know, and I have strong chemistry, and I don't happen to attract to anyone easily. It's really hard for me, but with him, I did. But it just concerns me because I don't see, at the beginning he seemed all in. I think they call it he's really hot and then kind of goes cold. But I was really cold, and I was omitting information and asking him for, like, can I get a pass? I don't want to disclose that information now. And then I was resisting him based on my morals and values of intimacy at the beginning. So then it's like, ugh, you know, so yeah. But then I gave in, and then I just think, like, it's like, oh, like I gave in, but then I was still not happy of giving in because if, again, my morals and values contradicted my openness to him. And I did mention that to him, but he's like, well, we already did it, so why are you holding back?
Right.
You know?
Right. So what's your question?
So I guess my question would be should I, like, step away from this relationship and then let him figure it out? Since I feel like I'm opening up now and just kind of figuring myself out, I don't want to damage it, but I don't know. I'm, like, confused, lost. I don't know. Should I, like, I don't know. Because I feel like, I don't know, like, maybe he is not for me at all. And I'm, like, lingering and wasting time that I shouldn't even be wasting. Based on the fact that I have contradictions on my beliefs.
So it's all internal.
Yeah.
So you're having an inner fight with yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
So you want to first get clear on that, for sure. I personally, from what's coming up for me, for you, you really need to get clear on that, so that your thoughts and your brain and your mind and your heart are in alignment, so that you're very clear and you're very congruent in your energy, so that you attract men that are really open and congruent in their energy as well, in regards to their openness and desire for you. Does that make sense? Because right now you are attracting men that are representing the inner push and pull that you are currently having with yourself.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the training would definitely help with that, because it's the energy, it's the confusion, and like the I don't know sort of thing that freezes you and stops you. You want to release that, and, like, look at those belief systems that oppose each other, and those are things that we will release inside of the training, for sure. We will release them, because it'll give you clarity. It will give you clarity, just so that you are aware. It will give you clarity in the next steps. If you have all this energy around you, makes you feel like you don't fully trust yourself, kind of thing, it's because you have opposing energies, like I said, and they're just coming up, and that is good. It's all leading you to the right man in your life. Please know this. Like, if you take it that way, you are on the right track.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Do you have any more questions? Does anybody have questions? Alana, for example, Michelle, Carla, Pamela. Let's see. All right, ladies. So does anybody else have any questions about the training? If not, here is the link again. The calls are with me right now they're available for tomorrow. Okay, perfect, Alana. So email me. You have my email, right? Awesome. So you are welcome. You're welcome. For those of you who have to go, that's totally okay. Before we leave, would anybody like to share, like, what was it that you got the most value from this call and inspiration? By the way, remember to grab the link, because it will disappear once I close the session.
Okay.
All right, ladies. So would anybody like to share the value that they got?
I think it's very insightful. I mean, being able to know that your subconscious versus your conscious and the power that it has. And yeah, sometimes we go through life not recognizing that because of other people's experiences, and then we internalize it when we ourselves have not endured any of that in our journey, and then we make it part of our journey. How to let go of other people, because we don't know what their actions were. We're all individually different, and we all react differently. But for us to take other people's experiences and make it part of our experience in our subconscious, is like, it's a no. That's how I feel.
Right. I agree with you.
I've been holding on to all this info from all my siblings. I gotta let it go. I am individual. I am myself. I am me, and I am different. So I can't. That's their luck and not their luck, but their blessings. My blessings are different, or my journey is different. So I gotta make it different this time around.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing that. And that's why I say it's like, for some people, it might be like, okay, I'm just going to let it go. Right. But for others, it's because it's so intricate, and there are defense mechanisms and things that you did as a kid. You want to go deeper. You actually really fully want to release it. Because a lot of people might affirm, like, I'm letting it go, and then it's not happening. I'm not saying that it's like that for everybody. I'm like, you get to be responsible enough to do whatever you need to do in your life and your story. Like, you know your story and your life better than anyone, right? Yeah. And letting yourself have the right support that's going to help you like have it like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think another issue that I have is like, you have your subconscious, and then you have people reinforcing different than your subconscious. And, you got people giving you like, oh, well, this is how you should do this. Well, that's not how it should be. So you have conflictual. So it's good to know, like when you say aligning, I kind of felt it's good to know where I stand. Other people could stand in a certain position, but I got to know where I stand with my position and live with it, because it's just like a conflict of back and forth. Your subconscious, the people surrounding you with their advice, and how, where do you stand solid so that you're not wavering.
Yeah, and all of that, that's why I said, like, your ego might be like, who am I going to be after I clear this? The person of you that's solid, that knows, right? Because you're releasing all of that away.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been very insightful. This is my first time ever doing this, by the way.
That's awesome.
I like to learn more.
That's awesome. And one thing you'll know is that because you're that confident, you won't attract wishy-washy people anymore.
Thank you. Love for that.
that's gonna make the biggest difference, right? Because like attracts like. You will attract that firm, confident man.
That's what he said, that I was confident. That's why I was attracted to him. But don't know what happened there.
They can say whatever. Like, you get to own it. You get to own it and attract the right type of person. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ladies. Take care. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow. Remember to grab the link. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Bye.